Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Tech Chats, where we dive into the latest and most exciting advancements in technology. I'm your host, and today we're talking about something that's been changing the game for developers everywhere, GitHub Copilot. So, what exactly is GitHub Copilot? Well, imagine a virtual coding assistant that's always by your side, ready to help you write better code at lightning speed. It utilizes advanced AI to suggest whole lines or blocks of code, essentially helping coders from beginners to seasoned veterans speed up their workflow. Pretty cool, right? Now let's break this down a bit more. You know when you're stuck staring at a screen and that blank cursor feels like the enemy? GitHub Copilot, powered by OpenAI's Codex, aims to change that. It essentially learns from a vast amount of code across different programming languages, so when you start typing, it can predict what you might need next. Think of it as your coding buddy who always seems to know what you're thinking. But let's pause for a moment. This leads to a really interesting question. Does it mean we'll eventually rely on AI for coding entirely? Well, maybe not entirely. There's always that unique human touch, that creativity and logical thinking bring to coding, which AI just can't replicate. Imagine using this tool to brainstorm ideas during programming, but still needing your unique problem-solving skills to tackle complex challenges. And speaking of challenges, Copilot is designed not only to produce code, but to spot security vulnerabilities too. This means developers can focus more on development rather than trying to crack open every line of code individually. That's a huge time saver. But here's another thought. What happens when new vulnerabilities emerge that AI isn't aware of? It really puts a spotlight on the balance required between technology and human oversight. Now, let's quickly touch on the collaboration aspect. GitHub has introduced features that allow developers to manage code changes seamlessly. Picture this. You're working on a project with a team, and there's a miscommunication about what needs to be changed. With tools like GitHub Issues and Code Review, it's easier to track changes and have discussions along the way. This makes teamwork way less tedious and way more efficient. Now, I can't skip over something many developers care about: funding. GitHub Sponsors is an initiative that allows supporters to financially back open-source developers. This connection fosters a healthier community where contributors can focus on innovation without the constant worry about financial stability. Before we wrap up, let's summarize some key takeaways. GitHub Copilot is an impressive AI tool that assists through suggestions, potentially revolutionizing how we code. It helps to minimize vulnerabilities and enhance collaboration, but it also raises questions about our reliance on AI. And let's not forget the importance of supporting open-source developers through initiatives like GitHub Sponsors. So as we continue to embrace this technology, I invite you to think about how it impacts your workflow. Do you think tools like Copilot will make programming more accessible, or will they create a gap in developer understanding over time? That's it for today's episode of Tech Chats. Thanks for joining me. If you found this conversation engaging, I encourage you to share your thoughts on GitHub Copilot with us on social media. Until next time, happy coding.